Hello and welcome to today's Sunday Salon, our sacred time on Sunday. So it is the weekend of Earth Day, and so I thought we would be outside today in the beauty of the day and hopefully celebrate in our own way Earth Day. I've been hearing lately, I've even seen an article, should we still be do we need to still celebrate Earth Day? And I think we really do. There's so much more to be done. And thinking that it's a passé holiday or some relic from the 1970s, I don't think that's the way to cherish our Earth. There will always be something that we can do better, and I think Earth Day was very important in bringing our focus to the problems of climate change and pesticides and so many other things about the Earth. So I'm definitely pro Earth Day. And it was this past Friday, but today is our Sunday Circle. And I just want to share with you some of these beautiful plants. These are, of course, the California poppy, which has a beautiful, beautiful color, and they grow wild. They're free seeding, though they are a plant that will endure 2 years. So they are biannuals, and the roots will come back for one more year. And since they're so free seeding, that pretty much, once you have them in your garden or in your space, they are not probably going to go away. And if you look closely at them, you'll see that, there's the very solid orange ones, like this one. And this plant has pretty much nothing but beautiful solid orange ones. But then there are also ones that have kind of a golden rim around them. So that's a naturally occurring variant. And it really broadcasts the name golden poppy. Now over there it looks like, I don't know if they're both on the same bush. I don't think they are, but I think that's just two plants growing together, that you can see that these two are very, very beautiful. And while these are not as powerful as, say, opium poppies, they do have a sedative effect. Their flowers used to be chewed by the native populations as a kind of chewing gum, and so you had the sense that this is beneficial. And in Greece, they also use the early poppy greens as a pot vegetable, and I have not tried that with these here, but I may indeed. And speaking of nature's creatures, on this Earth Day, we have the cat joining us and seeing what is going on in the garden. And here we have some beautiful plants coming up. We use these as part of our food for our lizards and other animals as well as ourselves. There's some chard and kale coming up, and with lots more to come. Now, tucked in amongst these big flashy poppies are these little native calendulas. They're not quite as vivid as the poppies, but they're very beneficial too. And they can be used to make calendula oil, which is supposed to be good for the joints, and much else. So, I'll see if I can get through here. Now, if you've been watching some of my broadcasts, you know that I've been doing a lot with bees, and so much with bees that I was beginning to wonder if all of my bees were planning on leaving. But as you can see, with the first sunny day, I still have plenty of bees, so they're doing just fine. Got some big bees going in there. Aren't they beautiful? I used to never get this close, but I'm starting to get more and more comfortable with my busy, busy, busy little bees. And over here, we have our lovely little gazebo, and we've put one of our many statues of Kuan Yin in it, and it's been recently painted this purple, which I hope Lorian would approve of, as we try to maintain her favorite colors in our color scheme across our landscape. And since it is Earth Day, and I think our most magnificent avatar of Earth Day is our great tree, so we'll walk over and say hello to it too. Right here we have an amalgam of trees. We have a pear tree, an olive tree, an oak tree, and probably a couple of others all growing together in kind of a delightful confusion. And here's a lovely iris, extremely fragrant, that is radiating out its benevolence as we observe some of the treasures of the earth on this Earth Day weekend. And let's take a look and see if our alpacas are out and about. They are indeed. I don't see the treat bowl. I don't know. I'm not coming for treats. Well, maybe we'll see what she's doing. Yeah, it's okay. This food. Is she expecting her to have all this food for absolutely nothing? Come on, Bambi. Say hello. They've been lucky lately because we have had more people here, and so they've been getting to say more things to our guests and getting some treats in return. And I don't see anyone with her. I don't think she's got treats. Okay. I can see it's very transactional, Bambi. Yes. If you don't think you're getting treats, you're not coming over. And we're passing by some Shasta daisies, one of the plants that was developed by Luther Burbank, who was active on this site. As some of you who know the history of this place, he was a friend of John Bosch's. Bosch was the one that became the Baha'i and eventually established a Baha'i center on this property. And that is what we moved into when it became free. So, and here is our fine tree in all of its glory. Many, many ceremonies, many, many Sundays under this tree. And what I'm really quite happy and excited about is that we are seeing a lot of new, fresh, green growth. Because over the past few years of drought, we do not have as thick a canopy as I would like. And I'm hoping that the gentle rains that we have had this year, that came in such a good timing for spring growth, that is going to remedy at least some of that, help our tree catch up. I'm also actively helping the tree by giving it more calcium in the form of eggshells and oyster shells, both of which are supposed to help in its growth. You don't think of a tree needing calcium, do you? But it does. So we're trying to add to that. And the sad thing is, with a fewer, generally limited bird population, we found that, of course, that means that there are fewer eggs being hatched or even, just laid in the tree. So not as many eggshells fall to the ground, not as much calcium gets back into the tree. So we're trying to compensate for that and remedy it. So, I'm going to be reading Lady Lorienne's scroll in a moment here on Earth Day. But first, if you'd like to join me, let us do the Divine Isis. Divine Isis, goddess of 10,000 names, I invoke your grace. Come to our temple, O goddess, dwell in our shrine. Make our hearths your altars, our hearts your home. Bring vision and healing to those who use this shrine. Give us wisdom and unveil the truth. And with thy feathery wings protect us. Breathe into us the breath of life and health and strength. Oh, Heidi. Lady Lorianne writes, April 22nd is Earth Day. It comes and goes now without too much fanfare. Unlike other holidays in our country, schools and businesses generally do not shut down to allow for people to contemplate the fact that they live on this beautiful planet filled with gifts for all of us. On this day, we do not exchange gifts, stores do not generally decorate their windows, and there are no formal celebrations or feasts of significance. And in spite of celebrating Earth Day, man's inhumanity to man and the planet on which we live continues with the pollution of our waters, the destruction of the rainforest, the depletion of our resources, and the archaic act of warfare, spilling the blood of young men and women on her sacred ground. Now, Lady Lorianne wrote this at least 10 years ago, and yet it unfortunately rings all too true today. So I fear that in the last decade, although we had cause for great hope at moments during that decade, we have not accomplished much, and perhaps we've lost some ground. So God us bless that we can move forward with renewed dedication to preserve our earth and all the peoples upon it. She goes on to say, in ancient times it was important to honor the earth, and many rituals were performed in these quote-unquote more primitive times for that purpose. The various manifestations of nature were worshipped. I can find her, Lady Lorianne writes, in the beauty of a sunset, in the greenery of a forest, in a rainbow after a spring rain, in the mystery of a cat's eyes, and in every... Yes, I said cat. You're right. I did say cat. You want to show your pretty eyes? In the mystery of a cat's eyes, indeed. Here. Look at me. Come on, honey. You gonna show your pretty face? No. No. You meowed as soon as I said cat, so I thought she wanted to be on camera. But no. What about you? Honey boo boo? All right. Well, so much for getting the cat eyes on camera. And in every nuance of life, where wonders seem never ending. Truly, this might be the most important day to observe, for without our earth, we would not even be here. And one thing that I find interesting is that there is in scientific analysis and research what they call the beauty problem. And that is the ascertainable fact that the world is very beautiful. And there doesn't seem to be a very good evolutionary reason for the world to be so beautiful. If it is all just blind forces conspiring to make us exist, it's unusual that we ended up in a place of such beauty, and that so many things are so beautiful and delicate and have just accidentally come to that form. So it's called the beauty problem, and it is one of the arguments against a completely blind universe just happening to accidentally create life. Lady Lorianne goes on. In the 42 ideals of Ma'at, taken from the ancient Egyptians, there are a number that refer to the environment. I care for the earth is one of them, calling us all to try to do our best for the planet we live upon. I keep the waters pure. Definitely a call to protect our waters, to not chemicalize them, to not let pesticides taint them, to keep the waters pure. And the most general one, I affirm that all life is sacred. When we journeyed to the moon, it was evident that we were all on the same planet. There were no boundaries visible from space. Humans created countries, states, and various belief systems that have led to war and bloodshed. If we could only see the earth as one, and all that live upon her being sacred, we could have the kind of world the goddess wished for us. Here's what we wrote for our earth flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of our Mother Earth, upon which we stand, all people, animals, and plants alike, one planet indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Lorian goes on to say, I see the goddess Isis as our much-loved Mother Earth. And frequently when we have people who come here, and truly there are many people that do not know what Isis is, do not even in some cases really grasp the concept of a goddess. And so when we're explaining things here, we often fall back on, well, she's a personification of Mother Earth. She's a personification of Mother Nature. And often we can kind of get through on that because almost everyone has had some connection with Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and senses the inherent benevolence of our planet to us. So it's helpful at those moments to be able to say Mother Nature. Of course, there are those who say and claim that the word nature itself comes from the ancient Egyptian term for the divine forces, which was necher. And you can debate the pronunciation and you can debate the etymology of it, but I think it is quite likely that the word nature did derive from necher. Yes, and where are you deriving from? And one of the reasons that we don't often see the Egyptian antecedents to our current everyday language is that when the dictionaries were being written, the first dictionaries, which came to be in probably the 1400s, 1500s, the English writers knew Latin and they knew Greek, and they didn't have any exposure to prior languages, maybe a little Hebrew. And so the word roots that they could discover were extremely limited. Had the first dictionaries being written maybe 300 or 400 years later, after Egyptian hieroglyphics were beginning to be translated, I think we would find that many words would be confidently traced back to the ancient Egyptian language. So now you'll see things that say, oh, that's from the Roman blankety blank or from the Greek blankety blank. But what it doesn't say is where the Greeks got that word, where the Romans got that word. There's even older languages that may be still retained in our everyday speech, but we're just not quite aware of them. And it's been long enough that it's been hard to draw a clear line between this and that word. Where did it arise first? So if you want to learn to speak ancient Egyptian, it may give you some comfort that you probably already are speaking a few words derived directly from ancient Egypt. So I invite anyone who has a comment for this fine Earth Day to put it in the comments. At some point soon we will be having live Sunday services again, and we'll be able to meet in fellowship together and restore ourselves to that practice. And I think that is coming soon. So if there is anything that you wish to bring up, and it doesn't have to be on the topic strictly speaking of Earth Day, as I say in the daily rites, if there's anything else to which we should attend, this is a good moment to bring it forth. And I'd also like to remind everyone that next week, and we are having our hybrid Inner Sanctum Symposium. We will be having 4 days of presentations, and there is a live event on Sunday with limited attendance where Priestess Annie Waters is leading a Beltane ceremony and Maypole rite. So if you would like to come for that, please let me know, And in any case, I hope you will be able to attend some of our presentations. It is a fundraiser for the Temple of Isis, so if you can contribute, please do so. But we always have scholarships available if that's not possible. So Goddess bless all of you, and I hope that I will see many of you either live and in person or safely on Zoom very soon. So do check on our Isis Oasis Sanctuary main page, and we'll be glad to help you through the process on that. So Goddess bless you all, and may you continue to celebrate the earth every day you are walking upon her, and may all good things come. And I invoke and ask that the Goddess Isis does soothe the spirits of everyone on this planet right now, and I hope and pray for the easing of this terrible war. This is also Greek Orthodox Easter, so for those who celebrate that or have culturally celebrated it, I hope that it has been a reaffirming one for you. All right, Goddess bless.